Alright, what up, G's? We're out here. I'm gonna change the sway bar on this on the dub. Got this Eibach off of Amazon sway bar. So went ahead and lifted it up. I went ahead and put a stand here on the subframe because we're going to be lowering down the subframe a few inches in order to get the sway bar out. Alright, so we're over here. Took off this bolt, it's a 21 millimeter. It's a 19 millimeter. It's going to separate the subframe from the main frame of the car. I went ahead and took off the bolts holding the the sway bar to the links. Took that off on both sides. I might need to take off release this from here to allow this to move down. Make sure you got something here supporting your subframe. Alright, so we took off, there's these 4 bolts right here, and went ahead and took those off. There's this here, it's like a motor mount, it's a rear engine mount, so we took those 2 off. I'm going to try to get away with just taking these 2 off. So we pretty much got everything loosened up that we need to have loosened up in order to lower the subframe. Okay, I lied. There's another big bolt right there that needs to come off, 20 millimeter. It's right squeezed in there where the trailing arm is. Okay, now that I got those 2 bolts off that were holding the subframe on, they were right here. That holds the subframe to the main frame. Also left I got to take off is the brackets that hold on the sway bar. It's 13 millimeter. It's really tight in there, so I have a swivel attachment to the socket. Alright, so I took off the bolts to hold the sway bar, and we ended up taking off this entire motor mount because the sway bar is going to come out through the front. So that's why you're lowering the subframe in order to clear the sway bar so it can come out in this direction. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, so this is the piece that we took off. Bolts on here. There's 2 bolts right here that hold it on. That comes off. Sway bar brackets are loose. Taking off the brackets, give me some more clearance. Yeah. Bushings, sway bar bushings off. I'm saving those just in case. I might put new ones. I might have new ones. So just in case they don't fit or they didn't come in the box. Just gonna save these. These are the stock ones. They probably won't fit on the new sway bar because the new sway bar I think is 22 millimeters, a little bit thicker. So I just twisted it. All right, dude. Good to see you, man.
Eibach, if we take just these 3 out, we just get it out of the way and it'll be easier.
And it'll drop down.
It'll drop down.
Then I'm gonna have to do my alignment.
No, you don't have to do your alignment. Alignment. It's actually
Because these are adjustable, right?
no, these are not adjustable.
Yeah, there's a from right here they're not adjustable.
No.
This piece adjusts from the, like these bolts are stable, but this has a little adjustment
To go back and forth.
to go this way. I think.
No, because
Not this way.
not this way. The adjustment se le da right here. This adjusts the it's camber, caster, and toe, right? So this actually it adjusts. This doesn't have to do nothing with adjustment. It just goes straight. Because the reason why I'm telling you, because on top here, the nut, it's a bracket. It's a bracket. So
That
you
moves,
actually,
that moves.
it moves. So it moves. So
Well,
you got.
do you have a scribe? I'll just scribe a little mark right there. That way.
Well, let's just keep trying out. Just jale. I just didn't want you to start. Well, it's coming out. Look at that. Like,
Yeah, look at the whole engine's moving. Dude.
huh?
The whole engine's moving.
I know. Ale, what?
No, it's just it's hitting on the train on the axle. Yeah. So I guess we gotta drop it down.
You have to.
Let me get it 13. I think that's. Yeah, it's 13. I should have a 13 right here.
¿Eh?
¿Aquí van para adentro los anillos?
Sí, pa. Ahí voy.
Yeah, I got it.
Sí, pa. Vamos a pulirlo. Ahí está.
Good.
Listo. Hágale poquito para afuera. Just a little, that way, towards you. Poquito. Has to come out. Ahí está. Ya. That's it. Entonces, este you drop in there. That's it.
Cool. We're gonna do one side.
You only have to go inside. Get your other stuff together. Ahora sí, paquetes.
Si lo vas a pulir o así lo vendemos.
Una pasadita, ¿no?
Una pasadita, oxidosa más. Estos están torqueados, ¿verdad?
¿Qué?
Estos están torqueados.
¿Cómo? Oh, los rods. Sí. Pero ¿quién de esto, pa? Ahí la tengo bien. Bueno, casi. ¿Quieres comprar dos?
All right. So you can see that we ended up having to take off these 3 bolts in order to drop the trailing arm down far enough in order to get the sway bar out. But we only have to do one side. Nice. Rebate offer. Sticker. Okay, so I'm doing a side-by-side comparison with the old sway bar and the new sway bar. Hopefully I got the right one. It's shaped a little bit different. It's thicker, barely, by maybe a millimeter or 2. I think the stock is 20. This is 22 millimeters. This is an Eibach. Came with its own bushings, so I'm gonna need these, but it didn't come with brackets, so I'm gonna use my brackets over. So we're gonna go ahead and put this bad boy on. One more thing I wanted to show you before I put this on is the clearance here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm getting about another 3/4 of an inch clearance from this radius here from the stock one. That's the main issue I'm having. Also, you'll notice this distance is wider, so that old one it's got a sharper curve on it, especially right here. So hopefully this will solve my clearance problems with my axles hitting my sway bar. Alright, so we're doing reassembly. I went ahead and put the sway bar into position. I haven't bolted anything down yet. Once I got that into position, now I can start putting things back together. Starting off with this. This is what last piece I disconnected. Make sure that you fit this inside of this frame so it slides inside here. The bolt goes through, and then there's a triangle that holds all 3 bolts in. I'm using a little bit of blue Loctite as I'm putting this all back together. Alright, so we went ahead and put on these brackets here. Not fully tightened all the way down, but went ahead and put those sway bar bushing brackets on because it's easier to get to them before I start bolting everything else back up, and started raising up the subframe to try to get everything lined up. All right, compas, I think we're all good here. Just make sure, double check you got everything torqued down. This, these 4. Then hold on to the steering system. These ones here. You got these 4. You got these 2 that hold the exhaust. The brackets for the sway bar. Make sure you got those torqued down. If you take this off, make sure you got those torqued in. Reattach your sway bar here to your end links, and I think that's it. So this job is done. You can see how good it looks now with the new Eibach sway bar, and we're gonna lower this car down, and we should be good. Peace out. All right, YouTube, I have one little hiccup after I did the test drive. When I was turning the wheel to the right, the passenger side was rubbing on the sway bar end link connection right here. So I went ahead and adjusted that. These are adjustable end links. These are aftermarket. These are not the stock ones. And I went ahead and lowered this one all the way down, tightened it up as low as it could go. And it looks like I got enough clearance now between this part and the axle. So I'm going to take it on another test drive, and that should be it. But other than that, I think we're done here with the sway bar on the 03 V-dub. I think we should be good.